Welcome once again to Media Venue for Coexistence YouTube channel. We are talking with Sada Ruchi Das, palm reading expert, palm tree. So can we start one more bhajan from
Another
them?
bhajan?
Yes, please.
Okay, got me completely unprepared. Raghupati Raghava Rajaram Patita Pavana Sitaram Raghupati Raghava Rajaram Patita Pavana Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram.
Very nice.
Haribo.
Haribol. So how did you learn this? You have multi-talent skills playing. What is the name of this instrument?
This is a Japanese instrument which made its way to India, and people in India call it a bobo tarang,
Okay.
and people in Japan call it a taisha shigoko.
Okay.
And this is just a easy to play instrument.
Very
And
nice.
I like
Very
it.
nice. How did you learn this to play? When did you learn?
I learned it on my own. I always played music most my whole life. I started out as a very young, interested student. I first learned concert music in school and started out playing flute in a classical orchestra. And then from there, when I became a teenager, I lost interest in my classical music and took up playing rock and roll. So I sold my flute for a bass guitar.
So you also had played flute.
Yeah.
Where is the flute?
I sold it. I don't
Sold
have it
it.
anymore.
So when was your teenage? Which year?
I grew up in the 60s and the 70s. I was born back in 1956. So yeah, my body is getting pretty old now. And yeah, I always played music, always had a love for music. When
Very
I
nice.
came to Krishna consciousness, I figured, well, I don't want to be playing rock and roll. I want to play the classical bhajans. So I switched from guitar to harmonium and learned some other instruments, sitar. I wanted to learn sitar. And yeah, I've just been adding on, adding on. If you learn musical theory, you can use that for any instrument.
Okay. So when did you join ISKCON?
I started chanting Hare Krishna 1976. And that was same year that Prabhupada was traveling through America. Well, 1977 is his last tour around the world.
Did you meet him that time?
I tried, but I was on the road hitchhiking from temple to temple,
Okay.
and he was flying in a jet airliner much faster than I could travel to catch up. So every time I'd reach another temple, they would tell me, "Oh, you should meet Prabhupada. He was just here 2 weeks ago, and Now he's out in California and Los Angeles. That's his headquarters. So I went from New Orleans to Texas to Las Vegas, all the way to California. And by the time I reached California, he's went back to India. So I couldn't hitchhike to India. So I missed a chance to meet him in person.
So,
But that was, yeah. That
well, it was
my
very
goal.
interesting.
I wanted a guru.
Okay.
Many of my rock and roll musicians had gurus. Back in the 70s, it was a very influential thing to take up meditation and yoga. And many famous musicians like George Harrison of the Beatles and Donovan and many famous musicians had a guru. So I figured if I'm going to be successful as a musician, I should have a guru. So that led me to Krishna consciousness. And
Where you were born?
I was born about 100 miles from here.
What's the name?
It's in Grafton, West Virginia.
West Virginia,
Yeah,
Swiss.
it's near Morgantown, West Virginia, college town. Just south of Morgantown is my hometown. So yeah, I was born in West Virginia, and but
Yes.
I've always had some interest in the Eastern culture. When I first put on a dhoti, I had a deja vu experience of feeling that I wore a dhoti in a previous life. So maybe my last life I was living in India and I wanted to come to America, so I took birth in this country, so I wouldn't have to struggle getting to America.
How long? Great. How long did you stay in India?
I visited India 5 times. I traveled all over the whole country, northeast, west, south. Been to Orissa, been to Puri, and all over Delhi and Calcutta and Mumbai. So haven't been to Nepal. People want me to go, but
You haven't been.
I've never been to Nepal.
Yes, I'm from Nepal. Yes, so let's come to the topic once again about your palmistry, palm expert reading. Can I ask you, how did you learn, this palm reading? How did you learn?
Mostly self-taught by reading many different books on it. If you're going to learn anything, yes, you need a guru. You need someone who has the knowledge. So different books on it. I have one shelf over there full of all the palmistry books.
So, okay, these are the palmistry books.
Over on that shelf, second shelf down is palmistry books. Most of them I have read and took little information here and there that I could accept.
Okay.
Not all of them I agree with. I don't agree with all the books because, like I say, it's the materialistic viewpoint.
Yes.
Like I say, there's palmistry just dealing with hand analysis, and then there's palmistry which deals with advancing your spiritual life. So Vedic palmistry is more about developing your self-realization and advancing in spiritual life. So that's Vedic palmistry.
So can we understand psychologically by reading the one's palms, what he is, how he is, or what types of character does he belong?
Absolutely. And it's a science. You can see it in a material perspective and spiritual. But like I say, many of these books are from a materialistic viewpoint, and you have to learn Vedic palmistry from somebody who is self-realized, someone who has spiritual connection. So I've found that those come from India. You want a transcendental viewpoint, you have to go to the Hastareka Shastra, which was written thousands of years ago. But you could learn from anybody, and many ways to learn from experience, just from experience. So the first time I started reading palmistry for doing palm readings for other people, I really had to deal with my intuition because I wasn't really fully experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, just like riding a bicycle, you don't have to have somebody right next to you training you how to ride a bicycle. You just use your intuition that, well, if I balance this way and I balance that way, I can ride it straight on through. The same way with palmistry, you use this knowledge and use that knowledge and go with your gut feeling